Does anybody remember the difference between the two cultures? So what was Athens like, Hunter?
They didn't have a navy. They did have a navy.
I tricked you by order, didn't I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I thought you were gonna ask in general, and then you said about that. And I was like, oh. Good.
Okay, so Athens, what did you say about their navy?
They have a navy.
Okay, they have a navy.
It was like the top dogs, like Top Gun, like warriors, like undefeated, unbeaten.
No.
You're losing men against them type.
Okay, Athens had the navy, but they weren't like the.
Oh, that was the other one. Yeah.
That was the Spartans.
Yeah.
Thomas.
Sparta was so militaristic, it's not funny. They had an army so amazing that it was never defeated.
Bingo. And why was that?
Because they're ridiculously overpowered.
Because, okay, Hunter?
They were trained from babies.
Okay.
The babies stood up, walked, and talked by the age of 3 months.
You're going into slightly more detail than I think I can confirm is historically accurate. But yeah, Hunter.
About the babies, like Thomas said, they from like when you're boys they train, and then when they're like the age of like men, like 20 to 30, they start training in the field. And then we also said that I said to you the advantages and disadvantage of one having the navy and the other one didn't is because they'd get food. That's how. Can't figure out which one had the navy again. Was that Sparta? Athens, okay.
Athens,
So
yes.
they wouldn't be able to get like food and weapons and stuff through a boat on water. And I said the disadvantage for Sparta was they didn't have a navy, so they couldn't track or figure out or spy on or see how they were getting all the weapons and food. And that's the disadvantage because Sparta didn't have a navy, so they wouldn't know that.
Yeah. Remember, well, I don't know if you do remember. We talked about the war. It was the Peloponnesian War.
Yeah.
And basically that was Sparta went to the Spartan soldiers went to Athens and basically waited outside their doors for the Athens army to come out. But they never did. Why did they never have to come out to fight?
Because they knew they were going to win.
Okay, they knew the Spartans were a better, just military, better army. Thomas?
Or they didn't hear the horn the war horn.
Oh, I'm sure they would have blew the war horn multiple times. But part of the reason was
every time.
Okay, so here's Sparta.
Oh, they would have had to cross water, and they didn't have the navy. So how would they cross the water to get to Athens then?
There's a land bridge.
Okay, so Sparta got there. So Sparta would have traveled up this way and across this little area of land and got here.
But they'll still have to cross that little bit of water to get to the land.
But because Athens had a navy, they could get their supplies from the water.
What about Delphi?
So technically,
did they meet him halfway then? Did they meet him in the water?
Who? Sparta or Athens?
Both of them, because Sparta had to cross that little bit of water to get to the land, so didn't Athens meet him?
This is all land here.
Oh, I was talking about the tip. No, go back. Right then, I'll go over to where you see blue, and then you see, that little gap right there.
But there's a little piece of land here that they can cross. Come here. Come take a peek. Athens.
1 second.
They didn't have to leave and go out their front door because they could get supplies from the water, from their navy, that could be brought right to the back of the city. So the war was basically nothing.
Yeah.
It was just Sparta kind of sitting there waiting for them to come out and fight.
They're probably laughing at the people inside were probably laughing at the people on the outside.
Probably a
Throw
little
the
bit,
spears over the wall if they were
Probably
so
saying,
strong.
haha, these people are funny, they're waiting for us.
I probably would have laughed a little bit. Alright, so the savage Spartans. So remember, these Spartans were like even today, they are like the standard for fighting. One of the city-states to grow after the Dark Ages was Sparta. They stole from just about anybody, and they moved into anybody's farm or field. If somebody was living there, they just made them slaves. So they were so strong and so focused on, they were so well trained, they could pretty much do what they wanted. So if somebody had something they wanted, they would take it.
They could get it.
Because if you are the biggest and you are the baddest, no one's going to fight you on it. Okay? So, and like it said, when we talked earlier about them, about slaves, we think of slaves as African Americans most times because that's what it was like in America, right? Here, a slave could be anybody. It could be maybe a fellow Spartan, it could be someone from Athens. It could be anybody. Doesn't have to be a specific race or anything like that. Just
somebody from a different state.
yeah, it could be somebody from a different state. Anybody they could capture could be a slave. Capture somebody, make them a slave. What are they going to do? Are they going to go willingly?
No.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, if against the Spartans, if they're smart, probably. But what happens if they don't go willingly? What do?
They die.
What's the only option? Okay, you fight, they fight,
They get stabbed.
and whoever wins wins, I guess. So, Sparta was a city-state in Greece. So, if I go back to this one just real quick. This is all Greece, all this green. So, Sparta today would be like a city almost. And so, say, it would kind of be like Huntington is in Pennsylvania, just a city in this bigger state.
But there's a wall around it.
And their big rivals were Athens, Corinth, and Thebans, but Athens is the only one we're really going to worry about.